Commando Kroll Water. You're amazing. I love our team. So obviously we started off with week 1. Last week we did community involvement, which was very cool, and we've heard some fantastic feedback in packs. And this week we're actually doing education and training. So obviously this is all part of your aspirational plan, and all of this is really to help you figure out a little bit more about who you are and where you're going in your pathway, which is some really, really cool stuff. So I'm going to be sharing about education and training tonight, and welcome to those that are online. And the whole point of tonight is that I actually want to just help change the way that we view the way that we get educated and trained. There's lots of perceptions out there that I think potentially might not necessarily be true or reality, and I'd like to have a look at those and share some of my own personal experience and my own personal journey, and how education and training has helped shape my life, and how potentially it can help you as well. So I'd like to start off just by, can I please have one of the non-whiteboard markers, please, one of the texters. At the start of the night, what I want to talk about is the 2 different streams. I'm going to look at education.
He's going to throw it.
He's going to throw it. Oh! Wow. Didn't catch it. That looks so bad. Normally I'm good at ball sports, but catching's not on tonight. So obviously we've got education, right? Hopefully I spell that right, because otherwise that would be embarrassing. And we're actually going to look at 2 different streams of education, and you're going to love this. We're going to look at school, right? Hopefully I spell that right as well, because that would also be embarrassing. And we're going to look at life school. And I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Before I do, just going to share one of my stories. So some of you may know, some of you may not. When I was younger, I didn't go to primary school. Just skipped all of school when I was younger. I grew up on a farm in Mount Evelyn, and some people may think that that's illegal or my parents did the wrong thing. I've heard lots and lots of different responses over the years, but basically what that meant for me is that up until the age of about 11, I didn't receive any schooling. I think it was actually 10 when I first started. So I wasn't educated as a child. Now, it was probably partly my choice, because I grew up on a farm. There were so many other more exciting things to do than go to school. So I definitely didn't exactly participate in the homeschooling part of my education. And then part of that obviously was because I didn't have the opportunity at school, because I was at home working on the farm and riding horses and playing sports, and I had a twin brother. So my whole growing up until the age of about 10 or 11 was completely different to most other people. Now, again, lots of people have opinions about that and interesting comments to say at times, but that was my journey, and I can't change that. But what I can do is learn from it. So obviously when I started in grade 6, that was an interesting year, to say the least. So didn't know how to read, write, dumbest kid in the class, had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what recess was, or play lunch, or whatever it is that you call it when you're in primary school. I just didn't understand stuff. I didn't know that you started at a certain time in the morning and you weren't allowed to go to the toilet, and all of these things I learnt when I was 10 or 11 in grade 6, and it just changed my world. And it was a fairly tumultuous year, in the sense of everything changed, and it just felt like there was 1,000,001 things happening. But grade 6 for me was really full on, and it was a really challenging experience with things like bullying and just people that looked down on me because I just didn't know stuff. And I don't know if there's been any times in your life where sometimes you just haven't known what you're doing and people have looked down on you because of that. That was my experience in grade 6. But when I share that story, that's normally the bit that I focus on, the bullying that I received and how challenging that year for me was. But what I want to do tonight is actually focus on when I moved on from that into year 7, because I had missed out on all of this, I guess, formal school education up until when I started grade 6. When I moved into year 7, it became this really interesting transition for me, where everybody else didn't really, they were kind of over school by that stage. You know, that kind of rebellious, I hate school, the thing that everyone goes through when they're in year 7 or 8 or 9. There's just this time where you go, you know what, I've been at this school thing for a long time, kind of over it now, I'd rather be going off and doing something else. The interesting part for me in my journey was that was the moment that I decided I wanted to be there. I'd actually realised and probably understood the value of what education was doing for me. I'd sort of moved through that year that was extremely difficult in grade 6, and I'd moved into this stage of, you know what, education's really powerful. It's helping me understand myself, it's helping me understand my friends, it's helping me understand the world around me, and this is really exciting. And I found myself in a place where everybody else was different. And I tried to take my journey and I tried to measure it up against all these other people. And it didn't make any sense because nobody else had done my journey. I was different to everybody else, and I kept trying to compare myself, thinking, why is that person smarter? Why does that person know something about a word that I don't know? Why can that person have so much more intelligence than me? And I kept using this measuring stick, and I kept trying to measure myself against other people. And what I actually learned is that it wasn't possible. Education is so much more than a measurement. I'll say it again. Education is so much more than a measurement. See, I couldn't measure up to any of the other people. They'd been at school for 6-7 years, and I hadn't. And I didn't know how to, I couldn't compare myself to other people because they were always so much smarter, so much better, so much more intelligent than I was. So whenever I measured myself up against somebody, it didn't work. And I found myself in a place where I realised I just thought I wasn't enough and that I'd never be enough and I'd never be able to catch up. Education is so much more than measuring yourself against other people. And I wonder if there's been a time in your life where you've tried to measure yourself against other people and found yourself wanting to be better or thinking that you're not good enough or that maybe someone else is smarter or more intelligent or they can do something better. And you bring out this measuring stick and you try and look at yourself and you try and compare yourself to other people. Education isn't about that. It's not about whether or not somebody else has a better degree than you or a better education or better opportunities. Education for you is your education, the way that you learn, the way that you're trained. Everybody learns in different ways. And your journey is unique to you, just like it was for me. My journey was so unique for me, and I had to learn to be okay with that. And I think all of us actually have to learn to be okay with our journey, because it's not about the person standing next to us. It's not about the measuring stick that we use. That you shouldn't actually have one, because no two journeys are the same. And no two ways that you learn are the same. You might have similar things, but they're not the same. Your journey is unique and is individual to you. One of the other stories that I want to share is probably less about formal education and more about life school. I did a lot of life school when I was younger, growing up on the farm, but I think I've continued to do life school after I've finished my formal education. I'll come back to that and how my journey finished in a minute. But a lot of people know that I'm into running, right? I love running, it's my thing, done marathons, it's just something that I really enjoy. And I've always been a runner since I can remember. Maybe I was just trying to run around the farm or chase horses or something, I don't know, but I've just always been a runner. And of lately, I've actually kind of gone on a bit of a journey of getting a coach to train me on how to run. Now, it seemed like a bit of a weird concept because I've kind of always been good at running. But I have a really awesome goal that I want to achieve, and in order to do that, I thought, if I'm going to be this serious about it, I probably need to make sure that I'm doing it right. I didn't think I was doing it wrong, but I needed to know how to do it right. And the coach came alongside me, and he's been working with me for a couple of months now, and it's been a really interesting journey because I'm finding out that there are people out there that know so much about running that I didn't know. And I didn't know that until I gave it a go. All of a sudden, the coach is talking to me about the technique, how I run. And I go, well, I don't have a technique, I just run. I just go in a straight line, and when I decide I want to stop, I stop. That's it. But the coach was talking to me about foot placement and getting me to do these, funky drills where I have to pretend I'm a horse. I'm like, why am I doing this? And I have to try and get my balance right, and I have to do butt kicks and stuff. I'm like, I don't understand, don't you just run? He's like, no, it's all about your technique. But you see, I didn't know that until I actually got somebody to walk alongside me and to teach me how to do that. And I'm sure that there's been times in your life where you didn't know something. And it wasn't until somebody came alongside you and actually showed you how to do it and coached you and trained you. And that's exactly what this guy's doing for me. And what I've discovered is that education actually has, or training, both of them, life school, has an amazing ability to actually improve us. Doesn't mean that you weren't any good at the start, doesn't mean that you can't be amazing at the end, but at the end of the day, every bit of training that you receive improves you. Improves you in certain areas, depending on what training you get, and it just adds to your capacity as a person. And to me, that's a really exciting concept. So I'm like, oh, train me more. What else can I learn? What else can I get educated in? And that becomes a really exciting opportunity for me. So that there might be people in the room that are sort of feeling like, you're not quite sure, you don't know what you're doing, you don't understand, you feel a little bit silly at times because you don't know things. But what you might be missing is, and that was what I was missing, is that you don't know until you know. And I went out and got all this training and then all of a sudden realised that I wasn't necessarily doing it wrong, but I had so much more opportunity for improvement that I didn't know about. Education has an opportunity to improve you, if you let it, but you have to choose. I have a activity that I would like to do at this point. So can I please invite Clarkie and Tyler Hull up the front? I've just asked these guys to share just 30 seconds to a minute on a story from their world. So I'm going to hand it over to these guys and I'm going to get them to share. Thanks, guys.
Oh, me first. Okay.
Go for it.
Alrighty. So, in high school, I'm in year 11 at the moment, and I do a year 12 subject of biology. So, one of my friends is doing year 11 biology, and so she asked me if I could kind of help her because I had already done it. And so I gave her my notebook and stuff, and she asked me all these questions like, what does this mean? And, you know, what is that type of concept? And so as I went through it, I helped her, and she really understands it now, and I'm kind of glad that I can help someone by giving someone my previous experiences and knowledge to help her to learn. So, yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, Tyler. Round of applause.
Well, when I bought my first car, my dad, literally the day I bought my car, he took me out and he showed me, you know, this is how you check your oil, this is how you do this is how you do that. Because I don't want to be one of those people when you're on the side of the road and something's wrong with your car, call RACV and start crying. I want to be that person that knows how to fix it. And as it turns out, actually, last week I was out on a job site for work, and our work light had blown and we had a flat tyre, and I was working with an elderly man and he had no idea what to do. So I kind of giggle when I'm a young girl showing an elderly man how to do it, but it was also something really cool because I had been shown how to do these minor maintenance things, and I had now been able to pass it on to someone who could potentially pass it on to his daughter who's the same age as me. But it all works in a circle. But yeah, same as Tyler, it was just really cool to pass on information that I had learnt to someone else so they could learn it as well.
So good. Thanks, guys. They are two very simple but amazing stories about what I'm going to call the feel-good factor. When don't know something, how does it make you feel? Confused? Silly? Stupid? Worthless? Yeah. You can associate a whole lot of negative words when you just simply don't know stuff. But not knowing something doesn't make you stupid, doesn't make you dumb, doesn't make you silly. You just don't know. Haven't been taught. Like Clarkie, she just hadn't been taught that yet. And then when she had the opportunity, she was taught and she could teach somebody else. We don't know what we don't know, guys. And it took me a long time to realise that just because everybody else around me was telling me I was dumb and I was stupid, that they were actually incorrect. It took me years. I started my journey in grade 6. And it wasn't until I was in BCE did I realise that people were wrong about me. It took me 4, 5, 6 years to think that I was actually good at anything. My self-esteem took a pretty bad blow at that point. For years and years and years, people just looked down on me and said, you know what? You are the dumbest kid in this class. In this whole year level, you're it. It's you. You're in the special class. You have the special tutors. You don't know anything. Can't even spell. Can't even write my own name when I was in grade 6. How do you spell Beck? I don't know. I'll figure it out one day. Didn't even have a pen license. You know what I mean? There's moments.
People's names.
There's moments in our life where other people and other situations and things in our world can just make us feel really silly. And we get so hard on ourselves at that point. You know, we pick on ourselves. We're our own worst critic. And we continue to listen to those voices, even in our own head, that says, just because you don't know that, you're no good. And it's not true. It is so not true. You just haven't been taught yet. You just haven't been educated. And for me, when I was in school, learning stuff, regardless of whether it was in school or life school, just learning. When I first learnt how to learn, that was one of the most incredible and empowering experiences of my life. And then you know what was even more amazing? When I can teach that to someone else. Because how good does it make you feel? When you know something and there's somebody sitting next to you, it could be about an app on a phone, and they just say, how do you work this thing? And you can actually share with them about how something on a device works. Could be something as simple as how to be a good friend. I didn't know how to be a friend. Talk about missing out on education. I didn't know how to be social. Sometimes I would just rock up and just say the most awkward things, and my friends would be like, what are you talking about? I have no clue. I'm just trying to be your friend. Please like me. It was just awkward and it was difficult, and I was the dumb one. But over years and years and years of education, of school and life school, I eventually got to the point where I understood, you know what? I just don't know stuff, and that's totally okay. And I might never feel like I measure up. I might never feel like I finally get there. But you know what? I don't have to arrive anywhere, because I'm on a journey of my education and training, and it'll take me where I'm going to go in life, and that's okay. I don't have to measure mine against you who has had twice the education. I don't have to do that, because it's about me and what I want to learn and where I want to go. But sometimes we just don't measure up because we don't feel good. We just don't feel good because we don't know something. And you actually just have to be okay with that. And you have to allow the things that you do know to grow your confidence. So next time somebody says, how do you do this? When you have the opportunity to teach someone, it is amazing. It's such a good feeling knowing stuff. We're in the office the other day, and I call myself a bit of a keyboard warrior, right? I just happen to know stuff on a keyboard. I don't know why, I don't know where I learnt it. Clearly wasn't in school. I just know how to use a keyboard really well. So I can do all these pretty shortcuts. You know how you press like control and it does stuff, and you can press buttons and things just happen? Well, there's a whole lot of girls in the office at the moment learning how to use a keyboard. And they say to me, oh, Beck, there's this problem, can you come and have a look at it? And I walk over and I just click one button, and their whole day has just been thrown out of whack because for the last 6 hours, they've been trying to figure out just how to toggle a spreadsheet. And I click one button and I solve their world problems in like 1 moment. Now, at that point, the girls probably feel like, oh my gosh, that's a bit silly that I didn't know that. But I'm thinking, how incredible is it that I can take something that I have and I can share that with other people? And that's the beauty of educating somebody. And you know what's incredible? It's not just for me. It's for every single one of you. Every single one of you knows stuff. You've been educated in things. You've been taught how to do things. And you actually have the opportunity every single day to take what you know, take what you've learnt, and teach somebody else. Because there was a time in my life where I needed all of you. I needed people around me to say, hey, this is how you spell people. Someone taught me how to spell the word people by pronouncing it people. It's like, that doesn't even make any sense, but okay, I've never forgotten it. I learned that in grade 6. I was like, I don't know how to spell people. She's like, people. I was like, that still didn't help me. I love you, but that did not help me. But it's that simple. You can take the tiniest little thing and you can teach somebody else, and I guarantee you, I know from experience, you will change the way that they see themselves and the way they see their world, just by sharing what you've learned. Don't ever underestimate the power of what you already know and what you already can do, and how much that can change somebody else's life. The other thing that education has taught me is that learning is about life. Learning is for life. It's not just a time where we go to school and we learn and we sit at a desk, or we go to university and we get a degree, and that's considered education. Learning is for always. From when you were a baby, you were learning how to walk and talk and eat and burp and fart and do all these amazing things that humans do, right? Then you went to kindergarten, you went to primary school, and you began your formal education. You went into school, right? And then when you finish school, lots of people think, oh, now I'm done. Let's go on a gap year. You know what I mean? They get excited and they think education's over. But what they fail to realise is that learning is for always. I finished my VCE and I actually freaking passed. And that was incredible day. Oh my gosh, I'm so thankful for it. And I'm so not sharing my ENTAR or my ETAR or my ATAR score, whatever you call it these days, because I don't care about the score. The fact that I passed was like a line in the sand for me that says, you know what, I can do stuff. Finished my VCE, went on to become an outdoor education trainee, went to TAFE. Who would have thought I was ever going to go to TAFE? I was one of those people who's like, I'm never going to TAFE, I'm never going to university, I'm going to get a snowboard, I'm going to become a world snowboard champion, and I'm never coming back. That was my plan. I went to TAFE. I actually passed TAFE. I did a cert something. It's got my name on it. Did a piece of paper. And then I ended up working in outdoor education, which was awesome fun. And then transitioned into bridge builders. And you know what? Every day when I was out in the field at Outdoor Ed, I learned something. I learned about different plants. I learned about people's behaviour. I learned about the ocean. I learned about rock climbing. I learned about stuff when I was in TAFE. When I finished TAFE and went into the workforce, I kept learning. When I'm at Bridge Builders, I swear I learn something new every day. Whether it's how to interact with people, whether it's how to be a better leader, whether it's how to believe in myself, whether it's how to support somebody else. Every single day there is opportunities to learn. Learning is for always. It's not just about school, it's about life school. Learning how to do stuff in life, just like changing a tyre of a car. That is something that everybody should know how to do, but like nobody does, because people don't get taught that. People don't take the time to sit down and teach you how to unlock the nuts on your wheel. You've got to start there. Well, you probably need to jack it up first, but otherwise it won't come off. There's a process, people. I'm not going to teach you. It's not my domain. I'm not a mechanic-y person. I can change a tyre, though.
Some people want to do it to their board as well, but there's no teaching.
That's true. There are some people that are absolutely just gifted at things. I don't know if changing the tyre is one of them. But you've got to remember, learning is for always.
I need to taught how to put my shoelaces.
Even when I was at the farm when I was younger and I was rebellious and I didn't care about school and all I wanted to do was just all the fun things, I was still learning. When I was about 6 years old, I knew how to put a BMX together. What? Why do you need that skill? I probably don't. But I learnt it. I learnt how to cut blackberries the right way. I learnt how to prune roses. I learnt how to do farmy stuff. I was at life school. I was at life school. And then I did my formal education and I'm back in life school again. My point is for you and for your journey, it never stops. Your journey for education and training never stops. Till the day you take your last breath, you always have the opportunity to learn. And you always have the opportunity to teach other people what you learn. And that's one of the most powerful parts. As I finish, I want to just share a quick story. On the weekend, I went to Chadstone, the fashion capital, right? Oh my gosh. Want to get lost? Go to Chadstone. I was there with a friend of mine and we were trying to find a specific store and it was really challenging because I had no idea where even the parking lot was to get into this bloody place. I swear you could see it from the moon. This place is huge. I was so lost. I was like, we need to find one of those, you know those little information-y bits, the screens where you type in where you want to go and it just pops up and tells you and says, you're here and you need to walk here to get here, right? Everyone knows what I'm talking about? Yeah. Couldn't find one. Walking in like 6 different directions. I'll go up this pathway, I'll go up that pathway. Surely there'll be an information booth somewhere. Nah, nothing. I'm thinking, maybe I'll just ask a shop owner. Nope, I don't want to sound like one of those crazy people. A friend of mine said to me, surely there's an app for that. I went, oh my gosh. Pull out my phone, type in the app store. Chadstone, this is not an ad for Chadstone by the way. Chadstone, comes up straight away. Oh, brilliant. Straight into the app, gives you 3 options. Get directions is that's the one I want. I tap on that and I start typing in where I am. It says, where's your nearest store? Oh, yep, I'm a nearest store. Good, got that. Yep. Where do you want to go? Well, I know where I want to go. Click. And it shows me on my phone where I want to go. Says just go up this direction, turn this way, and you'll be there. What? Since when is the information booth in the palm of my hand, right? I was like getting so excited over standing in a shopping centre with an app. Like it was ridiculously silly how excited I was getting. But my point is that the people at Chadstone have decided to take the power of an information booth, put it straight into your hands. They don't need a concierge person. They don't need an information booth. They have put all the information for their massive amount of stores in the palm of your hand. What an incredible thing to do. What an intelligent thing to do. I thought every time I'm going to a place I'm lost, I'm looking for the app now, right? But the amazing part about it, and it reminded me about education, is that the power's in your hands. When it comes to your education journey. Power's actually in your hands. See, a lot of you in the room might think that you need to go and do a particular course and get a particular piece of paper. Sure, those kind of education pathways, they help you. Not going to deny that at all. Going and getting a degree or a diploma or becoming a doctor or whatever you do in your education pathway, if you want to do that, then go for it. They are without a doubt helpful and you need them for certain pathways. But a lot of us just, I've heard so many people share about just not feeling like they're able to. I'm not able to take that step. I'm scared if I take that step. What if I try and I fail? Been there, sister. Oh, I've been there. But the power is actually in your hands. You can choose. It's your journey. It's not about the person next to you. It's not about what they're doing. It's not about how intelligent they are. It's about you. It's about what you want to do, where you want to go. Power to change your education pathway is in the palm of your hands, just like a Chadstone. As we go into packs tonight, we have another one of those pieces of paper. At the top, it literally says school, right? I made it real simple. And at the bottom, it says life school. There's two different pathways. Obviously, school, I'm talking about formal education. TAFEs, universities, school, like high school, BCE, all that sort of stuff. Life school is all your skill-based stuff. What I would love for the pack leaders to take you guys and girls through tonight is what does the formal education that you want to receive look like? Would you love to be able to go and do a TAFE course or a university degree? What do you want to do? Don't limit yourself in that, because there's actually people in this room and people that in Bridge Builders that could help you get into those courses, without a doubt. And then the second one is all about life school. What are the things that you just love to know how to do? Do you want to know how to bake a cake? Do you want to know how to change a tyre? Do you want to know how to bank a check? What are the skills that you would love to learn? Again, don't limit yourself, because there is literally people in this room and in our network that can help you get skilled, get qualified, and be where you want to be on your journey. We can help you get there. So thanks for sharing tonight, and good luck, pack leaders.